Hi, how you doing there, folks? One of the things I want to talk to you about today, I want to talk about the budget crisis that the city and the state are facing, New York State and the city of New York. Much of the crisis that New York City is facing and New York State is the fault of Governor David Paterson and Mayor Mike Bloomberg. Number one, Mayor Mike Bloomberg has expanded the number of employees this city has by huge numbers since he became the mayor after winning his first term, and spending has gone up tremendously since Mayor Mike Bloomberg became the mayor after winning his first term. Recently, Mayor Mike Bloomberg hired his campaign staff, created positions for them. Now these jobs that were increased are mostly patronage positions that Mike Bloomberg gave to his close pals. People that kind of washed his hands. Number one. Number two, Governor David Paterson, it is a large fault of the MTA budget crisis because there was no negotiations that were done on the contract between the MTA and New York City Transit employees. In the latest contract, Governor Paterson had it sent right smack to arbitration, where 13% raises were awarded, excessive raises to all of them, where the only employees that should have got 13% were the track workers, track and tunnel workers, and the mechanics that repair trains and buses. The rest should have only got like 4.5 to 5% raises. Now Mike Bloomberg is the root cause of that too, because the State Arbitration Board ruled because the city workers received 13% raises, the MTA workers should also. Mike Bloomberg did that to get votes. That's the reason why he did that. Gave out excessive raises. People that are staff was created, office staff created as political patronage positions open. He hired his campaign staff to the tune of almost $2 million. And Mayor Mike Bloomberg mostly hired his friends and close pals. Now these increased positions, those of us in the city, we don't feel it. Because Mayor Mike Bloomberg, when he became the mayor, won his first term, he cut a FDNY staff that was already understaffed, made it more understaffed. He closed 4 engine companies, 1 ladder company, greatly increasing response times in a number of areas throughout the city. Number one. Number two, Mayor Mike Bloomberg, after hiring his campaign staff and everything, death by 1,000 cuts. It's in yesterday's Daily News, right here. Now I don't have a... I held it up. It was in the Daily News. If you want to read it, folks, it was in yesterday's Daily News, Saturday, March 20th, 2010. Go to the Daily News website and just put in the article, death by 1,000 cuts. FDNY related article. Okay? Mayor Mike Bloomberg wants to close 62 firehouses, but laid off almost 3,000 police officers. Now wants to lay off another 3,800. Wants to lay off 18,000 teachers. And he already, now these positions that he created, we don't feel it. We don't feel it because they're behind the scenes. Okay, folks? Now another thing I want to talk to you about is about Governor David Paterson. Governor David Paterson really should resign and should have already did it. Governor David Paterson had people in the state police, because of his aide David Johnson, harass his wife, who was abused by David Johnson. Spousal abuse towards women then Governor David Paterson, you could actually say he supports spousal abuse towards women, which is totally ridiculous, folks. Okay, now another thing I want to talk about, and I really want to get it through. Mayor Mike Bloomberg is a king of New York. You just gotta face it, folks, that he extended term limits without giving us a referendum and sent it straight to the city council, and he was supposed to be out of here after 2 terms. Now he has the right to have a referendum and let the people of the city vote whether he should have a chance to run another election. Okay, fine, but it's almost impossible to win an election against someone like Mike Bloomberg, multi-billionaire who's got deep pockets that are endless, and basically he can outspend you in an election by tens of millions of dollars. God forbid, you're not richy like him, where you can spend possibly as much as $100 million to win an election. You can go and take out an endless amount. Basically, Mike Bloomberg spent $100 million. He's the reason why I stopped listening to the radio during the summer and fall, because I kept hearing his commercials one after the other talking about affordable housing. He didn't create no affordable housing. All that went up mostly was luxury apartment buildings, luxury condos for the rich. He did not create affordable housing, folks. Alright? And basically, you're trying to win an election against a guy like this. You're restricted because you're running on public funds where you can only spend up to a certain amount, which I believe is around 18 to 28 million. Mike Bloomberg outspends you by over 70 million, and basically all over the city constantly we're being bombarded with his name. Mike, hi Mike, hi Mike, hi Mike, hi Mike, hi Mike, vote for Mike, vote for Mike, vote for Mike, vote for Mike. So what happens? Bill Thompson did run a pretty good campaign. I do have to say that, with the limited amount of money that he spent, and much of the people were angry because he didn't give us a referendum on term limits, but yet he still won because of his endless, bottomless pockets and everything, and all the money. Maybe there should be restrictions on what such a candidate can spend to win an election after dealing with someone like Mike Bloomberg. Mike Bloomberg is a king. King Blomberg. You can't defeat this guy. Maybe there should be restrictions that you're not allowed to spend any more than 25% of the amount, of what your opponent can spend. Yeah, I have no problem with a candidate spending more than their opponent to try to get a point across. I have no problem with that, but being outspent by 70 million by a multi-billionaire, and how many multi-billionaires is there that can pull out that kind of money to win an election, you know? And this was in my head last night. This is very frustrating. Mike Bloomberg pursues gentrification in New York. He did not back Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthals' bill banning vacancy decontrol. If he had did that openly, I bet that bill would have passed. Mike Bloomberg's policies is chasing the upper lower class, lower middle class, and the middle class out of the city, folks.